A lot of people had a lot of questions from my last video about specifically what are the best tequilas. This is Fortaleza, arguably the best all-around tequila brand, but it's getting real hard to find. How about El Tapatio? But this might be a little pricey for some. Here's El Tesoro. It's absolutely delicious. Or maybe you want something more budget-friendly like Cimarron. There's no one perfect tequila for everyone, so today I'll show you how to find great tequila, hopefully answer some questions, and I'll recommend 40 different tequila brands you'll definitely want to look out for if you want authentically great tequila. There were a lot of questions and comments from my last video, 6 Dirty Secrets Tequila Doesn't Want You to Know. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. I just want to say thank you. I really enjoyed hearing from y'all. And I tried to answer back to as many as I could, but the most common comment was, what are some really great tequilas? Well, one of the most used tools I use when trying to find great tequila is the website Tequila Matchmaker. There's a lot of really useful information consolidated all in one spot, but probably my favorite feature is the score review. Next to every tequila, you can find an average review of the tequila. And this isn't just reviews from a tequila snob or a pretentious bartender. These reviews are also from everyday people that have tried a variety of tequilas, and not just someone that's only tried Jose Cuervo and Salsa and then stumbled across Casamigos and decided it was the best tequila ever. But for the 1 or 2 people that found a way to get butthurt, let me clearly state again, taste is subjective. If you love drinking something, that's perfectly fine. Now, if you want to find the best tequila, you need to try different tequilas. Unfortunately, I can't share my tequila through the screen with you. So the next best thing I could think of is showing you what people who've explored a variety of tequilas have to say. A good way to start is by comparing some really popular tequilas that you probably have, like Don Julio, Milagro, Poralagro, Casamigos, Jose Cuervo, next to some tequilas I would like to recommend, like Fortaleza, El Tesoro, G4, Siete Leguas, and Tequila Ocho. If you see these, definitely pick them up and give them a try. Unfortunately, it might not be available to you, or maybe you're looking for something more budget friendly. So out of the 40 tequilas I suggest, hopefully at least one will be right for you. Personally, the sweet spot for really great tequila is around the $50 range, but there are some really great budget options that aren't Jose Cuervo. Probably my favorite budget brand is Cimarron. Other budget-friendly options are Orete, Viva Mexico, and Suerte. Doce Vida is a good one that I enjoy in margaritas, and I think a lot of people getting into tequila will really enjoy its fruity profile. Now, let me admit my 3 mistakes from my last video. I am human, and I'm not ashamed to admit when I'm wrong. Truly, thank you to everyone that brought it up politely. I want you to know it's credible when I suggest trying tequilas like Lalo and Cascoini. Number 1, pronunciations. I could make a lot of excuses here. I'm fighting an accent, maybe I have a speech impediment. I really suck at audio production. Seriously, it's bad. Listen to some of my other videos. I started sending my audio through an AI, and sometimes it clips out certain syllables, but most of my pronunciation mistakes are because I drink a lot while making these videos. My bad. I'm just really horrible with pronunciations. Also, I apologize because I know I'm slaughtering the name on all these tequilas. And to that one English teacher, you know you are. Try pronouncing these words. Number 2, where tequila can be made. Great tequilas like Pasote and Don Fulano are made in these shadowy regions. I tried to streamline it by saying oversimplified, and as a quick slang term, I call this area Jalisco region. My bad. I'll work on that. In order to not make an hour-long boring video, there's a lot of information I have to try to condense down, and a lot of really great information ends up being cut out while trying to stick to what's most relevant, like NOM numbers. This is a 4-digit number representing the distillery where the tequila is produced. For whiskey lovers, think Buffalo Trace Distillery and their different products. So if I look up the NOM number for a tequila I really love, like Cascanas, I can see what else is made there, like Tres Agaves, another tequila I really enjoy. Or if it's a tequila that uses shortcuts to make subpar products, you can use the NOM number to see what else they produce there. Some more important information when trying to find the perfect tequila for you is tequila regions. In general, you have valley tequilas like Siembra Valles, which have a more earthy, peppery, and herbal taste. And then you have highland tequilas like Siembra Azul that tends to be sweeter and fruity or floral. I'll cover some more details, but let me get mistake number 3 out of the way. I mentioned in my last video that there could be up to 4% in total additives in tequila. I know a lot about tequila, more than most, but I'm not a specialist. Who is a specialist in tequila is Tequila Hombre. If you really want to know detailed information about tequila, please go to his channel. It is the best information you'll find out there about tequila. He even does really cool experiments showing the additives in some tequilas like 1942 and Casa Azul. But it was this tequila savant that explained that it is a common misconception and that it can actually be 4%. It's possible he might have been wrong about the 4%. I won't get into the long, boring details you probably don't care about, but these two bald men are the best authorities you'll find on the internet about tequila. And 4% versus 1% doesn't really matter that much because it's still pretty much self-regulated and some of the additives can't be tested for. It's very possible that there's more than 4% of additives in some tequila. Also, for the few people still defending additives in tequila by saying some people love sweeter things, just do a blind test like the one I did on my friend. She was an excellent candidate because she loves things stupidly sweet. I gave her Fortaleza, El Tesoro in 1942 and didn't tell her which was which. I asked her to rank them and 1942 was last. Here's a dirty little secret. Let's call it 4.2. I keep 1942 in Casa Azul because some people just want to flash cash. But if you want a fancy in the club, additive-free alternative, try this one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Tears of Llorona is another great option. Speaking of dirty tequila secrets, it seems like everybody got the point of it being large corporations like Jose Cuervo doing questionable things to tequila, and not great brands like Magenta and 123 Organic Tequila. And I believe everyone, except for one pretentious bartender trying to prove everybody wrong by arguing the same point, realized that like everything in life, there are exceptions, like El Tequilano. They produce many great tequilas. One of those just so happens to be a mixo. You'll hear it everywhere. Don't drink tequila that's not 100% blue agave. But this is that rare exception. Instead of cutting corners to line their pockets with cash, they use 70% blue agave to make a great budget option that's objectively better than pricey celebrity tequilas. Speaking of celebrity tequilas, they don't all have to be hot garbage. It just so happens that most of them are. One of the great things about celebrity tequila is that they get marketed better than small brands, making them easier to find. Many have heard of Código, and it's worth giving a try. Malavita is definitely worth giving a try. He's from the area and took pride in ensuring that he was backing a quality product and not just slapping their names onto something that's a cool trend for a quick dollar. This isn't a race thing, but a regional thing. Like, I'm from Louisiana, and we die inside every time we see somebody make a gumbo with tomato sauce. Another celebrity tequila worth trying I just heard about is Insolito. I haven't tried it yet. Apparently it's only out in Texas, but if you're in Texas, keep an eye out for it. Now, I know a lot of us in smaller places are really struggling to find really great tequila. I suggest asking somebody at your local liquor store or bar if they could possibly order some great tequilas like Suave, Yayo, or Nueve Uno. It never hurts to ask. But there are some that I can suggest that I believe have a pretty good distribution, like Olmeca Altos. I believe that they are owned by the same company as Campari, so it gives them a little bit more reach. Others that might be a little easier to find and budget-friendly are Espolón and Pueblo Viejo. Now, I have to mention Patron, but wait before you pull out the pitchforks. It's really easy to find, and unlike all other big names in tequila, they still make their tequila the authentic way. And yes, Patron arguably might be the worst example. It's a bit bland and overpriced, but they did do for tequila what Blanton's did for bourbon, so it was at least worth a mention. I also want to briefly mention higher proof tequilas. I personally love these. Many great brands like Carrera, Bolins, and Camucos, however you pronounce it, are putting these out. If you can handle the heat, you'll be rewarded with great flavor. All right, this video's getting long, so at the end of the day, give great tequilas like San Matias Tejon, Corredor, or Cabal a chance. But the only thing that really matters is if you like it. I wonder how many people clicked off not realizing I only gave 39. Here's Tapatio, one of my personal favorites. Less than 9 months ago, I was only paying $30 for the Blanco, which was a steal and why I used it so much. Still great with the price going up. The 110 expression is fire, and this is one of my favorite tequilas. I try to put this in perspective because unfortunately you can't taste it. But time has a lot to do with the price of tequila. 1942 is an Añejo, and Casa Azul is a Reposado. But this is an amazing extra Añejo for only $110. I hope everyone clicked off before this and didn't pay attention to the intro.